So today I have to expose Democratic Congresswoman Summer Lee for potential corruption in the federal government. I'm Gideon Askowitz, and this is 7 Minute Expert. So today in Congress, a bill that I've been working on for over a year was introduced for markup on the House Education and Workforce Committee called the DETERRENT Act. All this bill does is a number of things. It basically does two broad categories. It increases transparency and funding from any country. So if you are, let's say, Britain, and you put in a certain amount of money into an educational institution, so you put money into Harvard, Harvard has to disclose that if the amount is over $50,000. That's for any country. Now, it also has a additional requirement that if you are a country of concern, China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran, if you're any of those countries, then you have a lower floor. So a university would have to disclose funding of $0 or more. And a university would also need to request a waiver if they want to enter a contract with that country. So let's say you are CUNY, where I go to school, City University of New York, and you have a program in Beijing. So then you're going to have to disclose that. That's a big thing that this bill does. Those are the two main things. Now, let's say that you are Summer Lee, and the University of Pittsburgh, let's just say, was your biggest political contributor, according to Open Secrets. In fact, education as a whole was her third largest contributing industry. They gave her $175,000 total, not just University of Pittsburgh, but they were a large contributing factor in that. So we take a look further, and we see that, lo and behold, they have a program in China, and this program is worth lots and lots of money to them. So it seems like they've told her to vote against this bill. Now, how do I know that? Because Representative Lee went on an insane tirade in the committee today about how this bill was going to cause racism on campus and how there needs to be an investigation into the potential racist effects of the bill.
The DETERRENT Act is a recipe for more xenophobia, more discrimination, and more profiling of international students and students of color. If enacted, my amendment will require the Government Accountability Office to study whether this bill fuels hostility on campuses and undermines the international research partnerships that keep America at the forefront of innovation.
Nothing in this bill is racist, I promise. More than that, she doesn't even mean what she's saying, because the implication of what she's saying is that if there's an investigation and they find that there won't be a racist outcome, then she'd vote in favor of this bill. But that's not true. She voted against this bill before, and she's planning on doing it again. There is nothing racially motivated in this bill. I'm telling you, the bill only does transparency and waiver requirements. That's it. Now, Summer Lee is getting lots and lots of money from the University of Pittsburgh and both the University of Pittsburgh directly and related institutions, and they do business in China. And we know that universities in China and other institutions in China are all controlled by the Chinese government, by the Chinese Communist Party. So, for all we know, Representative Lee is taking orders, knowingly or unknowingly, from China. Very simply, she gets a letter from the University of Pittsburgh that says, hey, we don't like this bill because we have this program and we really like it. And she says, oh, okay. And she either knowingly or doesn't know that Beijing told her through the institution, the University of Shanghai might have said to Pittsburgh, hey, we can't have this bill go through because it's going to cause an issue for our program. Now, why is that an issue? Because this bill, the DETERRENT Act, allows for waivers. So let's say you want to do that contract with the University of Shanghai. That's fine. You can still do it if you fill out a waiver and say, this is in the best interest of the United States for the following reasons. And then the Secretary of Education, along with the other secretaries, say, you know what, that's true. This is in the best interest of the United States. So the only reason to be against a bill like this is if you're afraid that your program is against the best interest of the United States, which means that Summer Lee is protecting programs that are potentially against the best interest of the United States. Now, just a few weeks ago, we had a former sitting senator go to jail for corruption charges because he was taking orders from foreign governments. That was with him knowingly doing it. But again, this might be either knowingly or unknowingly. It seems like Representative Lee may or may not be taking orders from China, from Xi Jinping, from the CCP. That's a serious issue. Now, I really didn't want to bring this up. I've been working on this in my private time. It's something I'm very passionate about. As a student, I really want to get foreign money out of education. I think that transparency is an effective mechanism of just shining some light on what's been going on in our institutions, in our schools. If you want to do a business dealing with China, that's fine. Fill out the waiver and show why it's in the best interest of the United States. If you can't do that, then we should, as a country, should not be allowing those programs to go through. And if you're a constituent of a representative who is shielding an act like this, that should raise serious flags. Now, I should note, this bill is not a partisan bill. In the last Congress, it passed the House with 30 or 31 Democratic sign-ons. That means that 30 people crossed party lines, 30 or 31 people crossed party lines to vote for this bill. We're expecting that that's going to happen again. But if this is your representative or your representative in the past voted against this bill, you should write to them. There's no reason why any American should be against this bill. I'm very, very emphatically imploring that you write to your congressmen about this bill and to your congresswomen, to the senators. This should be as bipartisan as possible. It's a good bill. It's good for America. It's good for me, and it's good for you. It's good for your family. It's good for your communities. Nobody loses out. It's not racist. It's not xenophobic. The ranking member, Representative Scott, also went on a tirade about how it was xenophobic. Quite frankly, everyone who's been working on this bill is very bewildered how it could possibly be interpreted as such. Again, it's a bipartisan bill. It has nothing to do with racism. It's nothing to do with xenophobia. It has to do with foreign adversaries, with allies, with transparency. That's it. Know that your congressman is voting against this bill because they do not trust you to see the information about where money is coming from, and they don't trust programs to say, hey, let's do things in the best interest of America. Maybe because our representatives are protecting people who are doing things against our best interest, but I'd like to think that's not the case. Either way, if you like this episode, please make sure to like and subscribe. I'm Gideon Askowitz, and this is 7 Minute Expert.